Across the Vltava. A story of love in distance. Prague always looked different at dusk. For most people, it was the way the fading sunlight touched the cobblestones near Charles Bridge, turning them into a mosaic of gold and grey. For her, it was the silence that came afterward, the moment when crowds of tourists melted away and she could finally hear her own footsteps echoing through the narrow streets. Her name was Clara, 35 years old, recently divorced, and learning the shape of solitude all over again. Prague was her city, her safe place, her cage. She loved it and resented it in equal measure. After her divorce, the apartment felt larger, the bed colder, and the days longer. She had friends, work, books, and cafes she frequented, but there was a weight pressing down on her chest that nothing seemed to lift. She had sworn off dating for months. Men had become a blurred collection of disappointments. But late one night, restless after scrolling through meaningless news, she downloaded an app she had heard about from a colleague. Date my age. She told herself it was curiosity, nothing more. Just to see who was out there. Profiles flashed by. Smiles, carefully chosen words, a few clumsy attempts at humor. None of them touched her. Until she saw his. Michael, 45. American. His photo wasn't glamorous, no filtered sunsets or staged selfies. Just him in a flannel shirt, sitting at a wooden table with a coffee cup in his hands. His eyes carried something she hadn't seen in years. Calm sincerity. She almost swiped past. He was too far, too foreign, too unrealistic. But something about those eyes pulled her in. She pressed the button. The first messages. The app told her. It's a match. His first message came hours later. Michael. Hello from across the ocean. I couldn't ignore your profile. Prague is one of my favorite cities, though I'd only seen it in books and films. She smiled. Not a pickup line, not flattery, just interest. She typed back, Clara. Hello, Michael. So you've never been here? That's a shame. Prague is best seen in person, not in movies. Michael, then maybe one day I'll let you prove that to me. It was reckless, she thought. And yet, something in her chest shifted. They began to talk. Not much at first, books. Cities, small details. He was an architect living in Boston. Divorced too, with a daughter in college. His life seemed both far away and oddly parallel to hers. Broken pieces rearranged into something livable. Days passed, and their chats stretched longer. Soon they exchanged numbers and began sending each other photos. Her walking through Letna Park, him standing by the Charles River in Boston. 2 rivers, 2 cities, 2 souls. Late-night conversations. Time zones became both a curse and a blessing. When she woke up, he was winding down his day. When he was free, she was already preparing for sleep. Yet somehow, they found each other in the cracks. They began calling. At first, awkward with delays and nervous laughter. Then, more natural voices filling spaces that text couldn't. Tell me what you see from your window, he asked one night. Clara turned her camera. Outside, the Vltava shimmered with reflected lights. That's Charles Bridge in the distance, she whispered. Michael smiled. One day I'll stand there with you. It sounded impossible, but she wanted to believe. Sometimes they talked about big things, dreams, regrets, what they had learned from failed marriages. Other times it was small, what he cooked for dinner, which book she had bought, the way Prague smelled after rain. Slowly intimacy grew, not from touch but from words. Clara found herself laughing again, waiting for his messages, rushing home to talk to him. And it terrified her, the struggles of distance. Her friends teased her. An American man? From an app? Be careful, Clara. These things never last. Her mother was harsher. You need someone real here, not a fantasy across the ocean. But it didn't feel like a fantasy. Michael was real, his tired voice after long workdays, the way he asked about her headaches, the little sketches he sent her of buildings he was designing. Still, doubt crept in. There were nights she stared at the screen, angry that she couldn't just reach out and touch him. She longed for the warmth of a hand, the closeness of someone beside her. Words filled her heart but left her skin starving, and jealousy, the silent poison, slipped in. Who did he meet in Boston? Did he talk to other women on the app? She never asked, afraid of the answer. One night, after wine and loneliness, she snapped at him. "Maybe this is pointless," she said over video. "We live on different continents. What are we doing?" Michael's face was quiet, pained. "We're being honest with ourselves. We found something rare, Clara. That doesn't mean it's easy." She looked at him, at his tired blue eyes through the pixelated screen, and something softened. "I'm just afraid," she whispered. "So am I," he replied. "But fear doesn't erase what's real." The first meeting, it happened 6 months later. He booked a flight. When he told her, Clara panicked. She was excited, yes, but also terrified. What if the magic disappeared in person? What if the real man didn't match the voice and words she had grown to love? She stood at Václav Havel Airport, heart racing, scanning the crowd. And then there he was, taller than she expected, carrying only one bag, eyes searching until they landed on hers. For a moment, neither moved. Then he smiled. She walked forward. Their hug was clumsy, nervous, but when she felt his heartbeat against her chest, something inside her settled. Prague unfolded differently with him beside her. They walked Charles Bridge at dawn, when the city was empty and the air crisp. They sat in cafes, sharing pastries and stories. He marveled at the architecture, touching old stones as if they could speak. She watched him, amazed at how easily he fit into her world. The first time they kissed was by the Vltava, under soft streetlights. It was not the wild passion of films, but something deeper, steadier. A recognition, deep connection. The days they had together were few, but they stretched them as far as possible. They took trams across the city, explored Old Town, even sat silently in her apartment, comfortable in the kind of silence that doesn't need filling. At night, they lay side by side, talking in whispers. "Do you ever regret matching with me?" she asked once. He turned to her, brushing her hair back. "Every day I thank fate that I did." Her eyes stung. For years she had felt unseen, unloved. And now, here was a man who crossed an ocean just to sit beside her. But reality crept back. His return flight loomed. Their worlds were still apart. On his last night, they stood on Charles Bridge again, the city glowing around them. "I don't know what the future holds," he admitted. "I can't promise easy answers. But I know what I feel for you is real." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "I feel the same. And maybe that's enough for now." An open ending. After he left, the apartment felt even emptier than before. His scent lingered on her pillow. His laugh echoed in her memory. They returned to screens, to distance, but something had changed. They weren't just voices anymore. They were real. Weeks turned into months. They made plans. He would visit again. Maybe she would come to Boston. Nothing certain, but hope threaded through every conversation. Love in distance was not easy. It was fragile, demanding, uncertain, but it was also profound. It reminded her that connection wasn't measured by kilometers, but by the courage to keep reaching out despite them. One evening, sitting by her window with the lights of Prague glittering below, Clara typed a message to Michael. "Clara, I miss you, but I'm grateful. Because even oceans apart, I found someone who sees me." His reply came moments later. "Michael, and one day, Clara, I'll be standing by that window with you." She smiled, letting the city's night embrace her. The story wasn't finished. It was just beginning.